In the last episode of Isla Napali, it was finally kids coaster time. We started to build a little cozy kids coaster that is pretty much located right next to the entrance on the right hand side and is basically connecting the old and the new part of the park, which we're gonna see how this turns out in the future. But now enjoy today's episode with a special announcement of Isla Napali. Hello everybody and welcome back in Isla Napali. Yeah, it's been a week filled with Anno 1800 and here's me already giving a little bit of cross promo over there. If you haven't seen anything of Anno 1800, screw you and go over and just watch it because it's awesome. The game is incredible and I really want to make people watch that since it really is an awesome game. It deserves the attention. It's still an origin. Has its origins in Germany, and so this is why I'm also really proud that this series is still going on. But anyways, let's now go into Isla Napali. You've been waiting for this the whole week, and so here we are. This video today will be separate into a little bit of a time lapse, which is about 5 minutes of the time, and then we're gonna have a little bit of a real-time part because I will need your feedback. Hence, I have found a new company to hire. Yeah, that's already the announcement. I could, after a long fight and a long search, I found someone who is just perfect to fill in a beautiful restaurant. I've done already one restaurant, but I wanted to begin the new area of the park, or maybe the old area. Who knows? It's up to you. You are still my stakeholders, and you still need to convince me or help me to relocate or locate the restaurant, which is built by someone else again. And with Filfcomp we have made some good experiences, and I'm willing to bring in other people now and then. I'm not talking about who that is in this episode. You will probably see that in the future. The only thing I'm saying is I've never actually worked together with the other company so far, so we've been in contact forever, it feels, and we've never worked together, so it's a pleasure to finally do something. We've been willing to do that for quite a while, but it just didn't work out for several reasons, but now it does, it appears, and I'm super happy to have him or her up for it. And yeah, I think this company's value proposition really fits the Napali theme, and I can't wait to make the briefing. Ready? And yeah, as I said, I need your briefing because the company asked me already about the style, location and stuff, and I really haven't had the perfect idea yet. So we're gonna have to watch where we could put a beautiful restaurant. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in the real-time part, but I just wanted to get this already off my chest so you guys know what's going on. But if you want to take a look now into the background, you can see that I'm doing something, I've done already something up to your suggestions, and I'm super happy about your feedback again. Yes, I changed it for the good. I changed the station to make it a little bit longer than it was before, to make sure that we can have longer trains, since I really feel like, yes, we have to be that realistic. If I claim this to be a hyper-realistic park, I have to go into this little bit, and I have to redo it, and I have to do it, and I can't just say, well, it is not working the other way, and this is why I did this. We have longer trains, and we do not need a switch track, which is good, and also ties in with the story that this has been a traveling coaster in the past, which then has been relocated into this park and established as a permanent coaster. Hence this has no switch track, but it has this little chat now. So we have the main station, and we have the little coaster shed, and I'm also thinking of giving the station some of these planes I just made, or these shades, I don't even know how to call them, these kind of plastic things hanging above the coaster, which at night you can just simply loosen the ropes that are holding them up, and then just make sure that these are falling down and somewhat secure the coaster train from weather effects and from the environmental influences. Not that great actually, since you really need to focus a tad bit more on what is going on and what you can do with it. But I think it's a good step forward, and I think at some points we can still be a little bit more shabby and a little bit more budget. As we said, this is the first glance of the old part of the park. It is a good idea to have it. Yeah, another thing everybody was moaning about, which I can totally understand, and I was actually not happy with at all, is this bridge section over here. So yeah, I'm not entirely happy with how this looks in the end. I must be completely honest with you. Yeah, you know, I don't really know if I'm happy with it or not. Also, with the little thing I'm doing over here, I may want to retheme it a bit more. At the end of this footage, since we're going to the end of the time lapse now already, you can pretty much see how I try to style this a bit better, but I'm not entirely happy. So maybe if you guys have some more feedback how we can improve this section over here, let me know. I'm also already thinking of maybe just doing it a lot more simple, with just having some supports in the middle that are covered with some planters, and then just put some security nets above, and that's about it. I think that could be the best solution, and then just have some plants growing through these security nets. I feel like this could be the better solution, but anyhows, this is the end of the time-lapse footage. We're gonna see each other at the other end of the cut, or the other side of the cut, where the real-time section begins. So see you in a second. Alrighty, so here we are in the lifetime part. Let me just, before we go into finding a location, let's just have a close look on what I've did here. On what I've done here, sorry. So, this is, as I said, the little plastic foil, or whatever you want to call it, that can be dropped down onto the coaster, or well, not onto the coaster, but basically just be connected down here. What we do have to do some little bits and pieces where you could connect that to, because at the moment this would just float down here and would be actually hanging loose in the winds. As you can see, I also put some shades down here on the back. I'm not entirely happy with that yet, but since we do have this wall over here, which is more like a fence, not a wall, we have a lot of foliage here to cover also from wind and stuff. This should be pretty fine. But what I'm thinking about is we are on an island, right? So it is pretty windy. On islands it is actually super windy. So the thing is, we even have this big thing over here, like the big mountain, the crate. So if the wind is coming down here, straight here, the winds are going to be pushed incredibly crazy into this area here. So I was even thinking of maybe making some windbreaker walls over here, or maybe put something else in this fence, so that this, you know, if the foil is going down or whatever, this would be always a potential threat, because it could fairly easy, or pretty easily could break down, since the wind is going to push that into this direction pretty heavily. But yeah, for the moment I think we are just going with it how it is right now. Also, I was thinking of maybe putting, yeah, well, if I see that here, I was actually thinking of maybe putting some plastic things over here, and also on the back side of these things, like in here. Oops, there we go, in here. And the same goes for the back area over here. So as you can see also, since I had to move the station a little bit further, as I explained why, which was the reason, we do obviously have to change this a little bit. At the moment the coaster is just crashing into this one over here, but yeah, I'm going to fix that this evening. Also, this looks not nice in general, because people can now go to the front here, so I'm going to change that a little bit. But what I'm still willing to have is this shed in general. So since we do have the new move tool now with the update that has been released yesterday, we should be able to move the whole thing a little bit outwards, and I'm also willing to move this all outwards and just make this area, I mean, it's a backstage area, so we don't have to make this really go higher above the path, so we can actually leave it as it is and just kind of build a structure to here, and just increase the width of the path over here. Just do it as we want. Since this is only in backstage area, it's not relevant to people, and we can make this realistically only like a big flat concrete flat on the bottom. That should be well enough for us here, since, you know, people can't really look through here. We still have this gate, which then keeps away the nasty and curious eyes of the guests. And whoops, that's a little bit of a lag over here. Again, I'm a little bit rendering in the background. I'm sorry, but I have to do several things at once at the moment, so this is why. But yeah, oops, That was surprising. I'm sorry for that. If we move out now, and here's the thing, as I was already announcing, we will have someone building a restaurant for us in this park. And now I need your help. There are a few potential spots to put another restaurant. Now we have to get a little bit more strategic and really realistic in this area. So you are now the company, as I said. You are the people judging and also deciding what's going to happen. And this is the park, how it looks from above. And what you will see pretty easily is that we do have the entrance here, right? We have got the entrance here. We don't have any food available over here. We only have the souvenir shop, and we have an information desk over here. We have some toilets. We do have the backstage area in here. We then have the big restaurant area over here, which is the only area where you can get some food and, you know, some little stuff to grab. We have another souvenir shop in the back of this coaster over here, and that's about it. So this is all we have in this area of the park. Realistically speaking, this area is not that great. It's not that big, right? So we can enlarge this area quite a bit towards here. We can enlarge it into the crate a little bit, even though I don't want to go too much into the crate. I want to spend a little bit more of an eye onto maybe making this a little bit more nature, like really get more into nature designing and do some, you know, higher planters on here, maybe even some rice fields, if small rice fields that are only for the looks. Maybe not only for the looks. Maybe you could just say, okay, this is like the locally produced rice, and you get a very delicious meal with rice in here, which is the Napali rice production. I don't know, and we could also put some more fields in the back here and maybe in the back here, but I don't know, just little fields. You can't really take that much rice from it. Anyhow, this is, you know, the area we could go for. That's the first possibility, and the only thing I'm fearing is maybe it's too close, right? Having a restaurant over here and having another one over here, it's pretty damn close to each other. On the other hand, though, is we do have the hotel area in the back here, which means that potentially the hotel does feature an own restaurant, but as it is with these big, you know, luxury hotels, they usually also give you permanent access to all the other restaurants in the area, which means that also the guests of the hotels have a bigger choice of going to this restaurant or maybe another restaurant over here and the hotel restaurant. And this would be even closer if, or in comparison to if we would put it somewhere in here. Like, you know, I was also questioning if we might want to have a restaurant right here that kind of would be in the same distance from the entrance than this one is. So you're gonna have like this distance over here and then this distance over here, which makes somewhat sense, I believe, but also in terms of, you know, cargo, that would be pretty easy to deliver this just quite over here. You know, this would be fairly easy for the people in the park delivering this to the stations where they need to deliver it. Same goes for over here. You can pretty much go back through the coaster and just deliver it here, and can even assume having underground areas, and you don't even need to go through the area over here. That could be a thing, but on the other hand side, I don't know if that's the most clever spot in here. We also have to look more into backstage area, to be honest, because one fact I really completely ignored is how on earth can our backstage people get into this area or into these areas. Is okay, they can pretty much use this and then just go over here, but you don't want to you know, make this too open that people in the park do see it too much. So we have to maybe get into a little bit of a backstage area that is in between here, right? And then we need to cover this up somehow by nature and stuff like that. So also maintain this, or just consider this. But yeah, the only thing I need, and I'm asking is, I know it's a bit confusing right now, but where should we put another restaurant? Please, guys, let me know. So option 1, right next to the go-kart track. Option 2, maybe right into the entrance area. Option 3, somewhere in the new area, and I would kind of keep that somewhat loose so that we do have a challenge later on, depending on where the other company puts it. But yeah, let me know where it should be put. And the style of it is pretty much defined. It should be very, very traditional Hawaiian styled, like really Hawaiian style, maybe even dealing a little bit with some prejudices or something, right? So to make it a little bit too traditional, maybe. But yeah, so that's about it. That's about this episode. I, as always, want to have all your feedback as much as possible. Put it down below in the comments. I am really appreciating that. I'm really trying to answer most of them. And also, I am hoping you guys are enjoying the Anno series. So another little cross promo here. If you like Anno, just jump over and leave me some feedback over there. It's still ongoing, and the beta is still live until Monday. So you can expect a bit more of content there. But yeah, I won't let you down with Planet Coaster, promised. And so yeah, see you in the next episode. Until then, have a great day. Bye bye.
We should be hiding out wherever we may find.